It didn't bother me.
And she was hot.
She was.
And he was hot.
According to you.
I don't know. I'm only hearing this secondhand.
It's a teaser. Welcome to Uber Tales. Don't shoot the driver.
Well, you can.
Unless his last name's Anderson.
Then you can't?
And he looks like a bit of a douche.
Okay, you can do that.
That's how it's starting. That's how
Good thing it's not me.
It's going. Mr. Anderson.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. That could be anybody.
You're just going to get some guy shot.
What's your name? I was told on the show. Andersons are a full fair game. Not full game. Fair game. All right, welcome to the show. In the house today in the Uber Tales. We have a quick hit for you, supposedly, but I'll be the judge of that. Oh, crap. I'm hitting the mic.
Hey, Bobby, there's a mic there.
There's a mic there.
Who knew?
Ching, ching. Okay, let's just jump into it, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's find out what's going on in Brad's world today.
All right.
Tell us the tale, Brad.
Brad's world.
Oh, I haven't heard that show in a long time or seen that show.
Wow.
Well, now you're confusing me. I was like thinking, okay, we're off to the races, and then all of a sudden, okay, we're not.
No. There we go.
There
okay,
you go.
So what's going on and what's happening? What's the day like? Was it a good day? Was it a bad day?
Yeah.
Were you having a good day?
I was having a great day. I mean, it was good. I mean, I was in an area that I don't normally Uber in.
Why was that?
I don't know. I just got a ride that took me to an area that I don't normally go to.
Are there some areas that just are like not a lot of Uber people go there very often or get picked up? It's like an old area with old people like me, and so nobody uses Uber.
No 55 plus communities. Uber ride share app.
Holy
Well, there are companies that actually partner with people for that, but that's a different story.
I just realized I'm in that category since May.
Shit.
Oh my gosh, I'm legit 55. That's it. Life is over.
Way to bring it up, asshole.
Thanks, man. That did not hit
Bobby, if
me.
it's any consolation, you don't look 55.
Oh, well, thank
I
you.
would never have known. You could have said you were
Right.
46. I would be like, yeah.
Oh, gosh, that would have been nice.
Would've
to be
been it, right?
46 again.
Well, you're only as young as you're only as old as you feel.
That's right. Yeah, that's what young people say.
Yeah, asshole.
Hey, I'm still middle aged, so I can say that.
Right. All right. So it's a beautiful, wonderful day.
So, yeah,
in
it was
the
an
senior
afternoon.
citizens area.
No, actually, believe it or not, I was in a college town. So I was in Provo, Utah, and I had gotten a ride that took me out there from the airport.
And that's where you're usually not. You
No.
don't go down to Provo.
I don't go down to Provo.
Gotcha.
I decided to take this one from the airport that took me out there because it was still like fairly early. I think it was like 3 p.m. So I was like, okay, I'm sure I can kind of get a ride back. So I did like 1 or 2 rides down there, and then I ended up getting this request, and it was back to the airport. So I was like, cool, I got my ride. I get to get out of here, and I'm done. So I'm about 10 minutes away from picking up this couple. So I'm heading there, and I'm going through all these neighborhoods, looking at everything, and just looking at all the neighborhoods. And as I keep on going, I just keep on going closer to the mountain and keep on seeing bigger and bigger homes. And so as I'm getting closer, I see this couple waiting outside, and they got a bunch of luggage. So I'm like, okay, cool.
There they are.
A lot of luggage, but we're gonna have
luggage.
to put it in the car, and we're gonna have to situate it.
Like how many?
They both had 2 big check-in bags, and then they had 2 small carry-ons, and then two like backpacks and a purse.
Oh, they were going to pay some money at the airport.
Oh yeah.
And for anyone listening, Brad's got a Model Y Tesla. So it's not small, but it's not huge.
You got some room in the back.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to accommodate it all, so I wasn't worried about that. It's just you got to organize it properly to make sure that it all fits.
You got to be really good at Tetris.
Something like that. So as I was pulling up, I was like 100 feet away, and I could just tell, like, it was a man and a wife, and I could tell that the wife had just like this scowl on her face, like she was pissed off. So I'm sitting there going like, oh, fuck, did I show up late? Am I wrong? Like, why is she pissed off?
Damn it, it's that Brad Anderson
I know,
guy.
Right?
Yeah, include his last name.
Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm generic though.
Yeah.
It's that dude.
Right.
The gall of him to get here on time.
Right. So I was kind of like wondered. So I load up the car, I get him in, and the wife.
So you get out? Is it one of those premium rides? So
no, it wasn't a premium. But
you got out.
That's just a nice guy. He always takes people's luggage.
Yes,
you know,
because I don't want them to fuck up my car. So I make sure that
I was trying to do you a solid there, but you had to go the asshole. I was like, Brad's just a nice guy.
No,
no, don't screw up.
He's like, no.
There's some self-serving reasons.
What age? How old are these folks?
I would say middle age. I would say late 40s, early 50s.
Okay. Both of them look about around the same.
Yeah, about the same. So we started I loaded up all their luggage. I got them in the car, and you could just feel.
Did she have gray hair?
No, she had like you could tell it was like dyed, but it was like a blonde dyed hair.
Blonde dyed hair, and his was brownie.
Yeah, brown hair, short,
pretty classic dude.
They were wearing wigs, Bobby.
I'm just trying to get a picture, man. You guys are so pathetic with you. It's some dude. I can't picture that in my head.
Have you ever seen Black Friday, Bobby? It's a show on Showtime. Okay, so you won't know. So the guy kind of looked like a character on there, but he was kind of taller. He was probably like 6'2", 6'3", kind of huskier guy, but round face. But he kind of parted his hair short on top and then just kind of parted it over.
See there, that gives me. See there, how hard was that?
Sounds like a banker.
I totally see this guy now. Little chubby faced dude with his little parted hair.
Yep.
50-year-old guy, kind of big dude. Yeah, I totally get it.
Not like super big, but like tall, yes. But like
6'3" to me is freaking ginormous.
Well, I wasn't talking height. I was talking width.
Oh, I see.
He was a little bit bigger, but like not.
He wasn't 433 pounds.
He wasn't big like that. But I mean, he carried himself well. You know, he had a little extra, but he wasn't
carried himself well.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know. I like that. He carried himself a little extra, well.
But he carried himself
well.
Okay, I think we got the descriptions down.
I can go a little bit more if you want.
I'm good.
He's carrying himself.
I'm good. I'm totally good.
So I could see that there was just some tension.
Was she 4'3"? Was she just a tiny lady?
Nah, she was like 5'2"-ish. I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. Let me grab my tape measure.
Small and feisty. All right.
Yeah,
sounds like okay.
And you could totally see that.
All right.
Was she skinny?
Yeah, she was
bigger,
skinny.
Okay.
So as we're getting in the car, I'm like, oh, so where are you guys going? And they're like, oh, we're going to the Caribbean. So I'm like, oh, cool, that's awesome. So you could just kind of.
Was that him that said we're going?
No,
to the
this
Caribbean?
is the woman talking. So
she's getting a little warmed up. Or?
So he's just kind of just there. He's not really talking. You can tell there's some tension going on, but you're not sure kind of what.
And it's between them.
Got it. So first thing, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm in the clear. She's talking to me. They're not pissed off at me. Cool. So from down in Provo to the airport.
That's quite a drive.
Yeah,
how far is that?
It was about a 45-50 minute drive.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So it was quite
50 minutes with someone that's pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
When you see that, you're like, fuck. I got to be in the car with them for 50 minutes.
God damn it.
Yeah. Shit.
Exactly.
Look at the energy.
Exactly. You're like,
interesting.
How soon can I get you the fuck out of my car?
This is what goes through your mind.
Minutes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man, you guys are crazy.
So we're like 5 minutes in, and she starts talking to her husband. She's like, hey, did you check in yet? So apparently they were going on a cruise. So she starts to check in, and she's like, apparently as she was doing the check-in process, there was one question that she answered wrong, and it was, are you pregnant? So he hears it, or she's going through the process. It basically tells her, well, call us if you made a mistake or if you need to make a change to your check-in process. So she's doing that, and you could tell the guy was irritated by this because he was checking in as well, and on his app, obviously because he's a male, he doesn't have that question.
Put pregnant.
Exactly. So his whole point was like, it says
that's
right there.
Discrimination. They should put that on.
They should, right?
Are you pregnant?
You never know nowadays.
You don't. That's right.
Stop.
That's right. To foreshadowing the next
Right.
episode.
So, like his doesn't say that, and so like his just says like if you make a mistake, just check in the day of your departure date.
Can you have babies?
Right.
Does it have that one?
Something like
Are
that.
you sterile? Because we need to know for the other ladies on the cruise.
So, as he's like, so she decided to call the company like right then and there, and try to take care of it. So I did have music playing, but I obviously knew that she was on the phone, so I was like, "Oh, hey, let's
have
turn
a
the
party.
music down so she can actually kind of just like take care of the phone call, and then I'll turn it back up."
What's his deal?
I don't know. He likes to use scissors on something down below. I don't know.
I don't know what you're
That's
talking
apparently
about.
to Josh. Josh is in his own world.
Is in his own
I'm listening to the damn story. I'm trying to follow along. So this lady gets a question: is she pregnant? She doesn't answer it
Yeah.
correctly. What does that mean? Is she pregnant?
No,
Yeah,
she's
he
not
hasn't
pregnant.
said- she's not pregnant.
No, she's
She
middle-aged.
accidentally said she's
Yeah.
pregnant.
So that's what I said. So she accidentally hit the question saying that she was pregnant, even
Okay.
though she wasn't.
Okay.
So she had to call them, which is what she did to clarify the situation. And the guy on his app, it was saying like, if you make a mistake, just fix it the day that you are set sail, and that was going to be tomorrow, the next day.
They're flying
So
out
he's
to
getting
where-
all pissed off that she's calling him because she doesn't need to.
But you're on a 40-minute drive, so
Exactly.
why not?
You got time, right?
Yeah.
So they started kind of going at it, and then they just kept fighting and fighting and fighting. And I'll get
She
into
get
more
off
of the
the phone?
details. So she finally cleared it
After
up.
he backhanded
Yeah.
her, she got off the phone.
No, not quite.
Not quite that bad. She kicked him in the groin, and then...
I don't know. I can't see.
said-
I'm watching the road in front of me.
That's right. Okay.
Details,
Just did
Bobby.
one of
Come
these.
on. Maybe. I don't know. So
Shut
they're
up, man.
they're kind of going at it, and like he's all pissed off that she just wasn't taking care of it the day of they're to set sail.
How dare you?
Right.
Call
So
them
they're
right.
kind of going back and forth, and then they started fighting about an argument they were having sooner.
Oh,
And this was obviously before
this
me.
is the legit problem.
Exactly. So apparently, when they were getting ready, he took her passport because he thought that she would lose it.
That's pretty classic.
Right.
That's
typical,
pretty classic.
Typical
thing.
fight.
Yep.
It's fair.
So-
well, I mean, it's classic that he should take it because she'll lose it.
Right.
if
I
she
mean,
forgets
not-
her
I mean-
shit, I mean, that's...
Which I get,
if
yeah.
you're a forgettable person,
Total logic, kicking in. Totally get it.
she's pissed.
But she's pissed off.
I know how to take care of my own stuff.
Exactly. So she starts going
She
off
doesn't.
on that, and she's like, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was basically like,
You're a
I
control
don't care
freak.
that you took it, but I just want you to be remorseful for it because you had me frantic and looking all over the house. And
Now that would be funny if he has it
Right.
the whole time and she keeps looking. Do you know where it's at? He's like,
well, I'm sure something
No,
like that
honey.
happened. But she was frantic, looking all over the place for it, and then she realized she asked him, and he had it, or some shit like that. I don't know all the details because I wasn't
Okay.
there.
okay.
All right.
But the point is,
They
is
were
they're still-
angry
Yeah.
at each other.
Oh, totally.
That's the main point.
Absolutely.
Married couple.
Married couple.
They're gonna go have some fun. Damn it!
Exactly.
Oh. And
Maybe.
at the Bahamas. Did you say where?
Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Caribbean. Yeah, it's
Caribbean.
funny that they're so shitty and frustrated with each other, and they're about to go on this, sounds
Yeah.
like great vacation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds kind of.
know?
So-
that sounds legit.
So the music is still down, and I can still, I'm kind of hearing, I can hear the argument, and I'm just like in this awkward position going,
Why don't you turn the
why
music
do
back
I? Because they kept on fighting and going at it.
So, you're
So-
like, I don't want to disturb your
Well,
fighting. Maybe
yeah.
that would have helped. Like,
I'm just
crank up the
It very well
music.
could have.
We're trying to argue here, sir.
Something like that, right? I mean, I thought about just kicking him out of the car, but that's a whole other thing.
If you're going to argue in my car, you get the hell out.
Something like that.
Is that?
I don't know. That's a bit much. I don't kick people out for arguing. Married couples, they're gonna argue. That's
well,
just
of course.
That shit happens. I've had so many people quarreling with each other.
Well, and they were going at it pretty good. I mean,
I do turn the music up.
You do?
Yeah, because it's all. I don't want to hear what they're talking about. I've heard some
normally I do
raunchy shit.
Well, yes, and you do hear some raunchy shit. So
really? They're
just going back and forth at it, and basically he finally gets fed up, and he's like, "Will you just shut the fuck up?" And I'm like, "Damn!" And this is where it got a little awkward.
That's like shit's about to get elevated.
This is where it got awkward.
So this is where I'm like, well, now I would feel like an asshole if I turn the radio up right now, because they should get pissed off at me for interrupting the fight. So then I would be involved.
I'm going to try not to hear anymore.
So at the same point, I'm just kind of like a fly on the wall at that point. I'm like, okay, just get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to deal with this shit.
You got some fun plans?
So the Caribbean, yeah.
Yeah.
How about
throw something else in there.
Which boat are you on?
So mind you, this is a 45-minute ride.
And how long into it was this?
We're
Shut
about
the F up. How long were you into that?
10 minutes.
Ooh, oh shit!
Dang.
It was very early on.
Oh shit!
And I'm sitting there going, "Oh fuck, I gotta do this for another 35, 40 minutes." Like, oh shit!
Why don't you both shut the F up? You could have said that.
We'll get to that.
You both shut the fuck up. Oh my god!
They kind of calmed down for a minute, and then she just kept on antagonizing him every 5 minutes, and it was just like, okay, here's some more, and it's like,
nice.
And then you'd hear it again. Will you just shut the fuck up? And I'm just like,
oh, more than once.
I gotta be it. Yeah, it was probably 3 or 4 times.
Oh wow,
that's rough.
That's his go-to.
That's his total go-to.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Totally rough.
That's awkward.
So about
never turned up the music.
Never turned up the music. So about 20 minutes were left, and
come on, let's face it.
They were done. You could tell they were just done. So I was like, oh, thank God.
They were
just sitting here in silence. Let's just get this shit done, and let's just go. So I drop them off, and I get them to the airport. I get all their luggage out. Hey, have a great flight. Enjoy the cruise. Enjoy the Caribbean. Have fun. See you later. Get the fuck out of my life. I'm done.
Hope you can work your
shit out. So that is the story, but when you drop somebody off, it allows you to rate people. And you can give them a star of 1 to 5, just like they can give us. Mm-hmm. It even allows you a place to give feedback. So, something I very rarely do is I gave someone a one star, and my feedback to them was, just get divorced already. You clearly don't like each other. Just fucking end it.
Really?
So,
wow.
This begs the question.
Wow.
Okay.
If you're in that type of a relationship, why would you stay?
Oh, dude. Are you kidding me?
I don't get it.
People stay for all kinds of
I know. That's my
probably the first finances. You probably have your
course.
finances. You have the same house. You guys have a joint mortgage. You have probably a joint share bank account.
I would think, yeah.
I mean, the cars as well, probably.
Yeah, but
one might be the co-signer on it.
But even before that, I mean, just because they were having a crappy day and they were pissed at each other doesn't mean they don't love each other, and doesn't mean even though he was a jerk ass, that doesn't mean they don't have some kind of strong, loving bond.
No,
I'm just putting it out there that they could.
She actually made some jabs at him based off of a past marriage.
Ooh, past marriage.
Yeah, you can tell that they were married before, and this was probably their second, or who the hell knows how many
cheated
marriages.
on their spouses with them.
Well, I don't know that. That's a different story.
That's way more juicier.
Yeah, I think that's fun to.
Unless they said something along those lines.
No, I mean they didn't say that, but it was just more like
I should have stayed with my other husband.
That'd be rough.
Wow.
He's like, would you shut the fuck up? What do you say?
That's what I would have
never told me that.
Yeah.
He never told me that.
So I mean the whole yes, the story is short, but to me, it's like I said, why stay in a marriage like that? Like, what prompts somebody to do something like that? If you're willing to argue in front of a complete stranger like that,
yeah.
How bad are the fights behind closed doors?
Yeah, some people say people that argue stay together better than people that don't. I know people that won't even talk to each other, and they have no respect, no love, no anything for their spouse, and they don't ever talk or raise their voice to each other at all. They don't even sleep in the same room. It's like, why in the hell are you...
They're in a relationship?
They're married. Have 3 kids.
Is it an open
No,
marriage?
It is not open. They both don't go play with other people at all.
So what do they do?
They have their roommates. Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't understand.
I don't get it. I don't get it. See, that one to me is, why would you be together if you have... I mean, because those two could have some really good romantic stuff going on. Maybe they're heated and they get mad at each other and say horrible things. Dude, we get mad and we say horrible things that we don't really mean all the time. That doesn't mean the marriage is crap.
Yeah.
Maybe there was some amazing makeup sex that happened afterwards.
Hey,
sometimes you got to get into a fight, and then you take your frustrations out in another.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's their thing.
Maybe it's their thing.
Yeah, they get
embarrass each other in front of
Could be
strangers. I don't know.
Who knows? You know, I mean, me personally, I think it's really low class to argue in front of other people. You know, I guess we Uber drivers aren't really considered people, being that so much shit happens. I mean, borderline of someone just literally shooting up, behind me or something. Like, I have seen people do just the wildest shit. I'm just thinking, why would you do that? And the only thing I can assume is, it's like they just don't consider you. Like, they're just not thinking about you being right there. You're just,
of course.
a cog or something. I don't know.
That's what kind of got this whole thing like thinking is like, why do people think it's okay to do so much shit in front of an Uber driver?
I don't think they think it's okay. I think they just don't give a shit.
You think that's the kind of people that drive in an Uber? They're entitled.
Not all. No.
Not all.
No, I don't even think it's necessarily entitled. I just think people don't have a level of morality to say, hey,
a respect.
I shouldn't do this. Respect. Yeah, morality, like your morals. Like, you should morally not be subjugating other people to your shit. And they do, and they don't care. And it's like, why? Because they weren't raised that way to, like, I guess, show that level of respect or whatever you want to call it.
So you guys have never gotten in an argument or anything in public? Ever?
Not really, no.
Mm-mm. No, not in public.
I have not really big ones.
I mean, maybe like little passive-aggressive things, Like, if we're talking about in the context of if we're talking about in the context of a relationship,
Well, I think that's what we're talking about.
There's all types of relationships. Your parents, your siblings, whatever. Fucking your dog, there's all types of things.
Like, you could your dog?
What you do with your dog?
I said relationship. There's all types of relationships.
Yeah, and then you said effing your dog.
I never said.
Did you? What did you hear?
He did not say fucking the dog.
Anyways,
he didn't say fuck.
Bobby's mind's
even though he may like it. That's a different story. I don't know you, Josh. I don't know you.
Fuck off.
I don't know you.
Anyways,
I don't want to know you.
No, there's people that will even get frustrated at their pets, and I've seen people act very aggressive and just treat even their fucking pets like shit
in public.
In public, absolutely, yeah.
Well, again, that begs the question.
I shock mine with a shock collar in public. Does that count?
Yeah, I'll let you take that.
I don't know.
It's training.
No, training. I get. I totally get. Like that. That's completely fine.
My point was, you shouldn't be arguing and quarreling in front of strangers. Like, it's kind of what Brad was relating to. If you are so bent out of shape with another person that you can't help but fight in front of other people, like, you guys have terrible priorities.
You got
your shit is messed
deeper
up.
issues.
Why does it bug you?
You can't control.
Well, who cares what they're doing back there? Why did it bug you? I'm curious.
Because it's my car.
What the hell does that have?
I don't want to be. I don't want to be in the middle of their shit.
But
that's for them.
Because Yeah, but why? Who cares? Who cares?
But I think
Were you worried that you'd have to step in? I mean,
Potentially, I don't know. I mean, you run through a host of different.
What
like,
Brad was
thoughts.
getting at wasn't necessarily him personally. It's more of
You're saying because
why
they
are
didn't
two
have
people in a
respect.
relationship and they can't control their shit to the
Exactly.
point that they're now having to fight in front of other people, and it's
Mm-hmm.
awkward and it's weird. And truthfully, clearly they're up at each other's throats so much that
it doesn't matter that
it
somebody
doesn't matter that there's somebody
Exactly.
there. And but here's the
Do you
thing.
think they
okay,
kept doing it in the airplane?
Oh, I bet they did.
probably.
I
They're
would
like,
be
here, we
surprised
get a
if-
bigger audience now.
Well, they might get kicked off the airplane for that.
I've never been married. Brad has. Bobby, you are currently married.
Currently,
those are
28
kind of our
years, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Those are currently our sasses. So in this room, we have a wide range. We have the full spectrum of I mean, I don't know about full spectrum, but maybe Brad knows a little bit more. Semi-spectrum. You know what?
Found it out.
Fist pump.
I ain't found shit with you.
I have a penis just like
Nobody knows what the hell we've been talking about listening. They just they didn't sound like that. I would have been scared fucking shitless. I'm like, anyways. Anyways, point is, we have, just girlfriends. Brad has been married and divorced, if that's okay to put out.
Yeah.
Bobby currently married.
Currently married.
So, from my perspective, and I've never done a long ass marriage, like, been in a long committed relationship like you have, Bobby.
Almost been married
So
as
maybe-
long as you've been alive.
Exactly. There you go. So maybe, maybe from your perspective, you're like, well, we do that. And that is normal. And
Yeah,
maybe
it's
it is.
totally
I don't
normal.
know.
We
I
love
don't know.
arguing
Yeah.
in public. It's the it's awesome.
Do you? Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I'm asking sincerely. Like, I don't know.
I think
Does it happen over
have
time?
been upset on like vacations and stuff before. I remember we were in
but
New
you're
York
not-
City. We were in New York City, and my wife, to cut on costs, she like packed cheese sticks and salami in our backpacks.
I remember hearing this story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, we're in New York City. One of the coolest
Live it
things
up.
about New York City is to go places to eat. And eating our cheese sticks and pepperoni on the freaking sidewalk is not cool. We're here in New York. Let's freaking
Yeah.
go to a place to eat.
Yeah.
She was so pissed. And I finally make her go to this little cafe, and she's like, I'm going to spend $5 bazillion here. Because we had our kids with us, too. And she's
Okay.
giving me crap. So she was not happy, but I don't think we made a scene in
Well,
the
that's my
restaurant.
point.
But
Like-
anybody that was there could tell that lady is not happy with that dude.
Okay.
So
Granted,
that's
but-
normal.
Yes.
I'd say, like I said, that passive aggressive, like looking at each other like, son of a bitch.
Exactly.
But when you're audibly telling them to shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
That's completely
Now we're in a different zone,
That's
aren't we?
Exactly.
We've gone
And
into
to
a
do
different
it
category.
even in front of somebody, that's a different category in itself, as you said. Like, where's the respect factor? Like, to
Yeah.
me, like, hearing that, there's no respect for each other.
I
there.
couldn't, dude. If I said
If
that,
it's coming out their mouth, there's other shit going on
Exactly.
too.
Yeah.
That's my
Even
point.
worse
I
than
can't
just
So
even
what
how
you're
much
saying.
is being how much is going on behind closed doors that we're not privy to? Because it's going to be worse if they're saying that just in public.
Yeah.
And so the main point is, if you're that bad with somebody else, why still be with them?
Why stay
That's
married?
a good question. I don't know. I would say
Yeah, I
there's
think-
financial, there's emotional. You might have kids. You don't want to go through the divorce. You don't want to go through lawyers. You don't want to go through the whole process.
There's mediation.
all that
I
stuff.
mean, there's other
those are
ways
the ones
to do
that
it.
end up on the true crime shows where they've
Exactly.
killed each other.
And Brad, you've been through the process. Fair enough. So like, I mean, if anyone has an answer even to your own question, it should probably be you.
Why do you think I told him to just fucking get divorced?
On the freaking app.
I did.
that was
Funny.
his,
Get divorced
oh my God,
already.
that's wild.
You know that.
Pretty wild.
I mean, maybe that could have been a wake up call. I
Maybe.
mean, that could have been
Maybe it's the
very.
catalyst.
I mean,
It's
it
what
could have
starts the
been like,
process.
well, maybe we should go to marriage counseling.
Something.
That might be a good idea.
Bobby has such a kind heart. He's like, maybe they'll start marriage counseling. Brad's like, no, divorce. Fucking end it.
Just
die.
be done with it. Just cut it off.
I
It's
think-
done. It's over.
Every married couple should do marriage counseling.
I agree.
No
I
matter
think
if
so
you
as
have
well.
good relationship or not. I know it saved me and my wife's relationship.
Well, I
many
mean, I
times.
think you have a more appreciation when you go to something like that for your partner, that
For sure.
that you wouldn't otherwise have.
And you can hear from each other when it's a third party. It's so different. It's funny to me when people say, "Oh, well, we're not that effed up. We don't have to go."
It has nothing to do with being.
It
fucked
doesn't.
Up.
It has to.
It's more.
It's about learning each other.
Yes.
You can learn so much better when you're hearing it from the counselor. Man, my wife came into so many cool things that she hadn't thought, and me as well. Just like, wow, yeah, I didn't think of it that way. And when it's not your spouse telling you. Because when your spouse tells you, then you put up walls. And
Exactly.
Get your biases.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you get your biases. But when it's a third party, you can see so much clearer that the person does love you, that they do care, that they have, they have their own worries
Exactly.
and problems. And it's not about you being a crappy dad or husband or whatever. It's about them having their... Anyway, I think it's important stuff. I mean, we're getting a little deep and heavy, but...
That's kind of what I wanted out of this episode, is because... so many times we hear funny stories, we hear different stories. Like, this is kind of a real issue, and maybe I'm hoping, at least if anything came out of this episode, or me telling those people, is that
please don't tell your wife to F off in the Uber.
Yeah,
in the back.
Have more respect and have more class.
Just give her a kiss. That's much better.
Yeah, and she bites your lips off.
You can't always.
I'm not
always
saying
just can't always just. You can
that would be a problem.
You can kill them with kindness and sweetness, but if they've got a bad attitude, it's just as equally important on their part.
And that's
to make a safe place for that guy as well.
That's what I've always said about marriage. It is a give and take. You cannot have a marriage without both of you being able to give and take.
Yeah,
it will, no matter if the one person is always the taker and the one person is always the giver. That is a recipe for destruction.
Yes.
You have to be able to give and take. I think that's what's kept me married for 28 years, is the fact that we are both open to giving and taking.
Well, that's what a relationship is. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
You did the eyebrows,
I've never taken it, just so you know.
Bobby didn't have to go there. You did the eyebrows. I had nothing to do with that. I was just smiling because I like the advice you're giving.
This is a safe place, fellas.
Yeah, Bobby, it is safe.
Safe place. I've never been pegged, just so you know.
But you know the word.
Only because of this show. Only because of this show do I know what this is.
Didn't you introduce me to that?
It was just a story. That was the people in the back.
A story. Okay. I see.
The people in the back. All right. Well, we haven't done gripes or delights for a while. Are we good with it? Are we good with this? I think.
Yeah.
I think this is it's a good thing, and listeners out there, think about that.
Yeah.
One, be decent to other human beings by not being an a-hole to other human beings in front of those human beings.
And have some respect for your goddamn Uber drivers.
Yeah, and your spouse.
And your spouse. We can throw that in there somewhere. Not that it's that important.
Well, Bobby already covered that. Only like this much.
Yeah.
Fuck the wife, or fuck the husband. I'm sorry,
Bobby. There you go.
Brad has spoken. I won't even say fuck the wife, huh, Brad?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Brad is single, so if there's anybody out there that's looking for somebody to tell him to F off, I'm sure Brad could help you out.
He can accommodate you. Fuck that wife. Fuck her, guys.
Figuratively, not literally.
You should literally do it too, but that might also be why a relationship ends.
All right,
maybe.
What do we got for delights or gripes? Who's going?
Josh.
I'll go since Okay, so I guess we'll go with delights, and we'll play off what Brad said. I like when people come in, they're pleasant, even though they're having clearly a bad day. And I know they are, because they'll say, I always ask, like, hey, how's your day going? How's your night going? Whatever. And they're like, oh, it's one of those days, But they don't.
They're still cool with
They're still cool with me. They don't go into, make it like this big depressing ordeal, Even people that have literally just lost their dads. Because I'm like, how are you doing? And I told a quick snippet of this where a guy was literally like, I'm going to the bank for my dad's car. He just died. And the guy was super cool. He just experienced a death, and he was clearly heartbroken about losing his father.
Or maybe that's how he handles loss.
Yeah, so my delight's like good quality people, I guess. People that strong, good attitude, instead of sitting in the back telling your wife to fuck off, and just shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
That's my
I think that's a good delight.
It
That
is
a good delight.
And would you, I think you guys have said, for the most part, don't you get more pretty decent humans than too many really crappy ones?
I don't know. I'm interested about you because you do more of the crackhead hours.
I feel I do. I feel
most of them are decent humans.
Yeah, I feel most of them are decent humans. The ones that I feel aren't are they're not. How do I say this? They're not decent because of like the things Brad's talking about, where they're like cussing and complaining. They're not decent because they're just assholes. Mm-hmm. They're absolutely rude. They pay no attention to you. They don't give a fuck, about nothing. They'll sit back there, throw food everywhere. They're just assholes, and they're very self-centered.
What do you think the percentage of that is?
The percentage is high. If I go into the demographic of person that I've noticed is always like this.
Well, of people that you pick up, what's the percentage you think?
If we go broad range, every single human being I pick up, it's a small percentage. But if we go into 5 people,
5%.
I would say like 1 to 2.
1 to 2%.
1 to 2%. No, well, but that's me. This matters, dude. Because 20% to you might be not very much, but to me, 20% would be huge. But 1% or 2%, that still gives me
hope for humanity.
Yes, exactly.
So I will say 1 to 2% just as a figurative number. But if we get into a specific demographic, like this age range of this type of person, it's almost like fucking 90%. Like 90% of all of them that I pick up that are this age.
You can't stop there. You got to tell us what that is. Come on, what's the age? What's the ultimate dickhead?
The ultimate
age
dickhead
and demographic
honestly, you would think it would be a guy. It's really not. For me, and I've talked about this with Brad. Now I'm probably going to get a bit of hate for this, but it's just what I've noticed. When I get women in between the ages of, I'd say 30, I don't want to say 30, 40 to like 55, around that age range.
Shaking your head, yes, Brad.
That are business women. That are either, I don't know, CFOs or just some kind of
hate.
We will. Well, some kind of top level executive position.
Really quickly, we're going to stop for this announcement. Don't forget to email us at ubertalespodcast@gmail.com because even bad shit is good shit. So go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, right at this moment. That way I can get all these fucking angry Karens. Whatever.
Exactly.
So...
Are they named Karen usually? They're all over the place.
Every now and again.
Every now and then. That age range right there is just the fucking worst.
So 40 to 55.
40 to 55 executive
women.
Business women. They're just the fucking worst. Absolutely. They're extremely rude. They're very self-centered. They're very full of themselves whenever they speak to you. They're always... I've noticed
some people would say they had to do that to get where they are.
I don't care. I highly doubt that because the world of men is... I would say the world of men is extremely competitive. Men are very ruthless with one another. I've run a business. Brad's run a business. We can tell you, men are extremely ruthless. I have been under horrible duress and still showed people the uttermost kindness and respect, that are doing, you could say, serving whatever, But these women, they go out of their way to really, I would say, degrade you in interesting ways, And they do go out of their way. They really do. They're like, I'm too important. I'm too this. I'm too that. I've had very, very wealthy, very, very clearly, very, very wealthy men, successful men. And they have been nothing but kind, outgoing. They've shown interest, support. Same type of person, same age range, men, and they've been really good. I've also had a few, like dickheads, as guys. But when it comes to that demographic, it's like I'd say 90, 95%. Whenever I get this type of woman, it's always like, I don't know.
Interesting.
I rarely find them as really good. Or
Brad, what's your take on what he just said?
He's not wrong. I wouldn't say it's 90, 95. I would say it's probably closer to like 80, 85.
For you.
For me, yeah. So, but yeah, it's there.
But overall, you agree with that demographic?
I do.
That most of those women are... kind of not very nice.
Well, I think a lot of this could be solved if Josh would actually just get out and put
grab their fucking luggage. You know what, Brad? You know what? Fuck you. And I do. And they're still fucking terrible. Yeah, now. And they're still shitty. It's their attitude. They have
I know. I had to give you a little bit of shit.
Attitudes.
They do.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Now, when you get past that, here's what's interesting. Get past that like 55-ish range. Get past that into the 60s and up. They're still equally successful, very successful women. They're fucking great. Huh. But that age range right there, that like 40 to 55, they are just terrible.
No, and I agree.
Wow.
And to that statement, like I picked up somebody this weekend. It was a guy and a girl. And she comes up to the window and she said his last name. And I was like, no. And his name was very generic, like
Smith.
I don't like Josh. And I was like, no,
I think
Josh.
you said last name.
Well, she said the last name,
yeah.
but we don't get the last name.
I got you. The guy's last name.
So it was them. She came up to my window. He was waiting on the side. His name was Josh, and she said his last name, and I'm like, no. So then I'm looking and call.
Did you say? Why wouldn't you say the first name?
Because he didn't know.
I didn't know. She said the last name.
He didn't know.
But wouldn't you say, no, I'm here for Josh?
Because his last name was kind of generic enough where I thought it was
a first name.
So that's where I was like, no.
But why wouldn't you just say, no, I'm here for Josh? Why wouldn't you just say that?
Because I assumed that they were already waiting on one. And they knew what they were looking for.
I would think if somebody, hey, it's Harry. No, I'm here for Josh. Thank you. Get the out.
No. I mean,
okay.
I knew I wasn't there. So it was a move
So
point.
Anyway.
Yeah, but so then I call the guy and he's like, oh yeah, well, there was white Tesla were right here. And then they hopped in. And then she's giving me attitude about it, saying, I told you the name. I'm like, no, you didn't. You said the last name, not the first name. Mm-hmm. And so I asked him, I was like, hey, what's your last name? And he said, I was like, yeah, that's what you told me. And then she tried to still give me attitude, but she cussed at me about it. She's like, I fucking did tell you. And I'm like, no, you actually didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, and she was like coming unglued on you.
Yeah, these.
And was she that demographic? 40 to 55?
That's the whole point, is telling the story.
Well, I just wanted to be clear. I don't know
how much clearer I can make it, Bobby.
Well, you didn't say the age. You didn't say how old she was. Oh my gosh. It's clarity. You don't know when people are listening, you don't know what people will grab onto. Just like when they're in your car.
I don't know what Josh is going to grab onto.
Just like when they're in your car. They don't know what
they always take you to a gay place, Brad.
That's right.
The fantasies of Brad coming out.
Just like the stories of what you're telling us, dude.
I don't know how we got from talking about a demographic of like riders to anyways.
So do you have a delight or a gripe?
No, I'm good.
No, we already covered.
we gotta cut our losses. All right, folks. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time. Yeah. Thanks for listening to Uber Tales. Don't shoot the driver.